All right. Hi, everybody. It's another month, so it's time to look at some market statistics again. And we are going to be looking, let me just share my screen here, at Schenectady County as promised, because we took a look at Saratoga County. So we're going to look at Schenectady County today, and then going forward, I'm going to merge it all so we can see what the bigger picture of our two counties are doing. But I did Saratoga, so time to do Schenectady. So first thing we're going to look at here, first I have to give my disclaimer that this data is from a third party deemed accurate and reliable, but it is a third party providing this data. So anyways, let's get started. So this right here is the month supply of inventory. We looked at this in Saratoga County, and here in Schenectady County, right now, we are just at about 1.75 months of inventory. So anything under 6 months is considered a seller's market. Anything over 6 months is considered a buyer's market. And obviously, as we get to the extreme ends of those, it's a stronger seller's market or a stronger buyer's market. So being just under 2 months of inventory, it's a really strong seller's market right now in Schenectady County, as it is across the entire multiple listing service, which covers many counties, but very strong seller's market right now. Why? Well, there weren't a lot of houses for sale to start with, right? So there was hardly any houses for sale. And people that were looking to buy a home, I would say about 15% of those continued that process through March and April, and the rest of them held off. So now what we see is those people have jumped back into the market for the most part. And a lot of those sellers either weren't ready to go right back on the market when the buyers were ready to get out of the gates and start looking at homes again. So we're just now starting to see a little bit more inventory coming on. But this data goes through June. So in June, there was definitely a lack of houses, and we're still experiencing that now. So you can see, I mean, it's dramatically down. So for the past this is a 2-year graph. So the average is around 4 months. It was still slightly a seller's market, but it was hit or miss based on where exactly the property was. Did it look good? Was it priced right? You can see here in April that obviously, since there was a lack of buyers entering the market, we shot right up into a buyer's market for that 1 month there. It took about 7 months or 7 months supply of inventory. So really shot up to the highest numbers we had seen. So this is pretty accurate in terms of if you look at what's going on in the world. So that's the first thing there. Let's take a look at price. Let me clear so it's less confusing here. So this is asking price. These are properties that are for sale. So prices on the for sale properties are up 20%. This is asking prices, remember. So went from about 150,000 average to about $180,000 average. It's a massive jump, 20%. But now you look at what's sold, it's only up 12%. So this is similar to what I was describing in the Saratoga County market, where people are pricing ahead of where the market is. You know, they hear us, they're hearing that there's multiple offers and that there's a lack of inventory, and they're putting their house up for sale, and if they're not really serious, they're overpricing it in some cases. So you've got 20% price increase on the for sales, 12% on what is actually sold. And the ones that are currently under contract, no surprise, they follow the solds. So they're also at 12% increase. Now this is from the starting point 2 years ago. Or this is actually, I think this is actually June to June 2018 to June 2020, 180. So 12% increase there. So let's take a look at supply and demand. Now, these numbers are really funky, and they're really funky because we just had a really funky 2 months in real estate. So as the year starts to progress, this is going to mean a little bit more. I'll still go over this, but you're going to see some very, very strange things here, such as sold homes down 40%. Well, that's because homes that sell in June are obviously homes that would have gone under contract in March and April. So during March and April, I just told you that a lot of buyers stayed home. So it makes sense that solds were down. Same thing with under contract. Under contracts are up 25%. Makes a lot of sense because pent up demand. And I mean, you can look back here, just kind of glancing at this blue bar and see that under contracts are at their highest level in the 2-year history. So really strong push. Buyers agents have been very busy this month. And for sales, down 30%. So again, just because, I mean, look at April and May, it's really not that far off. Actually, March was just as high as June. I mean, it's just amazing to me. So we really thought we would see even more inventory coming on, but it's just not. So June is really just kind of, I mean, gosh, if you look at just last year versus this year, it's dramatically down. So down 30% from 2 years ago and about the same from 1 year ago. So typically a lot more inventory going on in June, which again, it makes sense with everything going on in the world. I think what it's doing is really just eliminating the not serious people. If you don't have to buy or sell right now, you're probably not, especially if you live in the home and it's not an investment property. So that's what's going on here. Inventory way down, sold's way down in June, but those are going to flatten back out as we see. I mean, gosh, when you see this under contract, so August closings are going to, that number is going to be right back up, and it's probably going to be up from a couple of years ago. So these numbers are going to wobble around over the next, 4 or 5 months. And once we have a good 6 months picture past March, I think we'll be able to really get some more insight and describe a little bit better what is going on and where we are trending. But that's a look at Schenectady County for the month of June. Thanks, everybody.